I worked at a tech startup, at a large corporate firm, and started my own business. In this video, I'm gonna tell you which one of these three is the best. I'm going to rank these career paths on a scale from 1 to 5 across these 5 categories: pay, hours, vibes, stress, and fulfillment. For some of these categories, I'm going to call my mom to see if she agrees with my ranking.
Hi, Max.
Hi, mom. First category is pay. So straight out of university, my first job was a job in a tech startup in the legal sector. So money-wise, I was making $32,000 a year. Other people at the firm actually took their compensation in stock options. And some of the people I know at the company did get quite a large payout when the company ended up being sold of millions of dollars. If you're looking for like getting paid straight away, it's not the best option. So yeah, it's a 2. Anyways, after my time at the startup, then I went on to university to do another degree. And then after 1,000 job rejections, I got a job at a corporate consultant firm called Accenture, which is like a huge brand, one of the biggest brands in the world, like 500,000 people across the globe working there. And there I was making $42,000 a year. So the good thing about paying corporate is that you get a good salary when you start, and then your progression is pretty clear, and then if you stick around and you're really good, you can get paid really well. I give it a 3 because even though you can make $500,000 a year in a corporate firm, only a few people actually get to do it, and it's like a lot of work together. I left Accenture and then I started my own firm, Klim & Co. It's a communications and advertising agency. In the first year, I made $14,000, which is like not a lot. I had one client that I knew we had a retainer for 4 months. Things weren't looking super well. And then through a combination of kind of perseverance and luck, we scored our first client. And actually that fee minus the cost of delivering the service was bigger than a whole year of what I was getting paid at Accenture. I struggled a lot with like trying to charge more and feeling confident that I can charge big money from big brands and big organizations, and in the end we did. In a good month I could take home like a 40 grand a month, which is a lot. If we look at the lifetime earning, most entrepreneurs go broke at some point in their life. Like if you go into business to make money, there is a small chance that you can do it. In the end, for me, pay is a 5 for business. What were your thoughts? You and Dad?
It wasn't easy decision. To be honest, wasn't sure that you should leave your work. I support you, remember, I support you. But you had a good salary, stable, maybe not so good, but stable, and you had stable work, and you went to nowhere. You didn't know if it's gonna be okay or not, if you succeeded or not, so it was definitely hard.
What about money? Like my relationship with money?
I think you definitely have more money. Definitely.
Category 2 is hours. I think the schedule there, technically speaking, was like a 9 to 5. Because it was a startup, people were usually coming in later, so it was quite chill. So I'm gonna give it a 3, because for hours basically, in this one, 5 means low hours, I guess. It's like a work-life balance type category. Next is hours in the corporate firm. Technically, at Accenture where I worked, there is also a 40-hour kind of work week. Now, in reality, it wasn't like this. And I think I worked maybe 55 hours a week. I feel that in corporate environments, at least for me, I felt this expectation that you need to work a lot in order to get ahead. So there was definitely a situation where people are staying later, not necessarily because they're working more, but because they want to create an impression that they are working really hard and working a lot. For this reason, I'm gonna give it a 2. Now about my work hours once I started my business. I think there is an idea that if you are like your own boss and you work for yourself, then you work less. That is like the stupidest thing of all time. Once I left Accenture, I was setting my own schedule and I just filled all of my waking hours with doing stuff. You just have to figure everything out, like website, emails, pitches. There is unlimited amount of tasks and it never gets done. In a corporate firm, I felt like I have done my job for today. I'm going home and that's it. When you run your own thing, you just feel like anytime when you're not doing something, you should be feeling guilty because you could be doing something and your competitors are doing something. Realistically, it's like an 80-hour work week, and not even counting like I start working when I wake up and then I finish when I go to bed. The difference is that it's self-imposed, but the category is hours. For the business, it's a 1.
Your life became your work. It's like this now. You used to work and go home and relax. I think you work more, but you work with passion. You enjoy what you're doing.
Category number 3 is stress. When I was working at a startup, I just wasn't stressed at all. You know, at a startup, there is this idea that like, if it fails, it's fine. It's like this culture of like, well, if I don't succeed in this thing, who cares? I'm just gonna go do kind of something else. The company was so small that you could make your own kind of rules, do what you can. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work, like, f it. So stress-wise, I'm gonna give it a 4. Little to no stress. Now, at the consultancy firm, things were a little bit different, a lot different actually. The work that you do has levels of reviews. Because what are you stressed out about? Like doing something wrong, making a mistake. To me, that's what I'm stressed out of, like expectations, that kind of stuff. Now, to me, the stress kind of came from a different thing, which is office dynamics. And then number 2 is the whole office politics, like promotions, referrals, like that. I felt more stressed about like kind of the day-to-day job of positioning myself for success. Hence, it's a 3. So when you work for hire, a lot of the stress might come from your boss. And I was actually very lucky. In both companies I worked at, my manager and my boss and the boss of the boss, they were quite good people. And the worst boss I've had is me. There is a separation, like once you start your own thing, you're the boss and you're the employee. And like you still have that relationship, but within yourself. I'm just stressing myself out a lot. So it's a 1. Here's where stress comes from. Number 1, I left my well-paying, secure job with a lot of potential that I have literally studied and worked so hard to get in order to make some stuff on the internet, like according to my parents and my grandma. But the stress of like everyone around me being like, Max, no. Then there is the money. The money is not there. Imagine you have a little bit of success, you get some money, you hire a team. Then there is a stress that other people have in their lives that as a manager and as a leader you have to think about. People get sick, people get divorced, people get like demotivated, people struggle mentally, like, and you need to also think about all of their stress. I would wake up in the middle of the night just like with like racing thoughts and worries. What if the clients are gonna leave? What if I can't retain my team? Because you're also now responsible for like other people's like careers. Maybe for a few months I would like throw up a few times a week. I would just sit in the office, I would like have a client meeting, it would go bad, and I would just go to the toilet, throw up, come back to the workplace. Like just pure like stress-induced like digestion issues, okay? How would you rate my stress levels?
You were always stressed. I think even stress level now much higher than it was before.
Category number 4 is vibes. When I worked at a startup, the vibes were really immaculate for a few reasons. Number 1, the workforce was really young, around the same age as me, around the same like life stage as me. So we just all kind of shared the same interests. We would be like going out together. We would be going to like corporate stuff together, playing table tennis, like foosball. Another reason why the vibes were great is because I brought my friends to work with me. It was like university, but I get paid. I'm gonna give it a 4. Vibes-wise. What I used to do at a startup is I would, in the middle of the day, when I get bored, I just stand up and I go around everyone's desk and just ask how they're doing, like what they're working on, like how's it going, just like ask them random questions. Everyone just loved that and I would really enjoy it. I remember, so I tried it at Accenture. Stand up, start going around. Literally the first person I speak to is like, Max, can you stop distracting me, please? And I just sat down like, that's fine. And like, I never stood up again. So hence, it's a 3. Business. So in the beginning, it's like dead vibes. There are like no vibes. Because one thing that I really dislike is being alone. Like, I just don't necessarily want to. Like sometimes, yes, it's great to have your me time, etc. But like working alone without a team, to me, is just horrible. When you start off on your own and you don't have the funding to like hire a team straight away, like I just felt like I was just grinding out at home. The vibes were just me and my laptop. Now, once you hire a team, it kind of gets more fun. It gets a little bit better. The vibes are still not the same because like you work at a corporate or in a startup, you can like talk about your manager, you can discuss some rumors. Once I was running the agency, no one would tell me any rumors. They would have their chats where they can talk about stuff, maybe like discuss me and how I suck or something. So vibes wise, I think in the beginning, super dead. As you grow, hire a team and then you can get like really good vibes, kind of do your thing. Yeah, so vibes for business is a 2. Last category is fulfillment. How you perceive the impact that you have at the workplace. At a startup, one thing that I really liked is that your suggestions get heard, and if they're good, they can get implemented really quickly. Like I remember, I suggested going to the European Parliament to lobby a certain law that like it was impacting our industry quite a bit. My boss was like, cool, like get a proposal together, send it to them, let them fund your trip, we can give you some time off, like go lobby like and get a few people from the company to go with you. So this is why, in terms of fulfillment, I would give it a 3. Fulfillment in the corporate world. So the good thing is that they have a lot of money. If you have an idea to do something, to change something, they have the money to do it. The problem is that everything takes so long. Smallest change can take months, can take years to like get implemented. It's crazy how many layers you have to go through to do the simplest thing. You can still get a lot of fulfillment in the corporate. I think I was just too early to actually experience that, because as you get to executive level, you can change a lot of things. What you do impacts a lot of people. That's one thing that I always liked about Accenture and just any big corporate monster machine. It has massive impact. But your individual contribution to that massive change is so incredibly minuscule. By the time it happens, you just don't feel like you did it. Of course, you don't get credit. Like, that's another thing. Like, you do all the work, credit is for your boss, which is fine. This is why fulfillment-wise, for me, it's a 2, but it's a strong 2. I think in some businesses, fulfillment is like not at all there, and you're better off getting fulfilled like doing some volunteering or something on the side. The work that we did in terms of digital campaigning and digital content around health of like a whole species, the impact there was massive, and like I felt so on fire about what we were doing that like I could like withstand all of the stress, and so was the team. Like, it was crazy good stuff. We felt the scale of that I didn't feel with the startup. Like, I felt that here, things that I do that then myself and the team bring to life, they just get amplified, and it creates like massive change, which is crazy intoxicating. So fulfillment for me is 4. How happy I am with the impact that my work has in these kind of 3 places.
Oh, definitely now much more happy. More happy now than you used to be. So you was miserable.
I was not Mom, I wasn't miserable.
You stopped smiling, you stopped laughing, you stopped enjoying your life.
So final results. Startup! Yes, 16 points. Of course, there are downsides. Of course, a lot of the time startups are not run properly. But I think as a start, it's a really great place, because then I took that sense of like initiative and change that I had in the startup world to my corporate career. So now I kind of combined those both experiences and started my own thing. If you are looking for like your first step in your career, then actually I think that startup is the best in the very early stages of your career. It's not as much risk and loneliness and just dread as the business. It's not as boring as the corporate world. It's just right. So I never know how to end the video. Okay, thank you. Bye!